Good morning, this is Mary Catherine at Red Robin Farm. And I thought I would try, now for a second take, to do a little tour of our herb garden. And I'm going to try to remember where the microphone is on this camera so that you can hear me better as I record. Here is Trixie. I'm going to try to use here's Trixie taking us news. This is one of her favorite places by the front door. So I'm going to start us out going out the front door so you can see some of the plants we've had here on the front porch for the winter. This has been screened, not screened in, it has some nice thick poly plastic on it, and I have a little shade there too for some privacy. So here's the front porch, and before I forget, I should show you, these are our pecans, and all these bags are full of pecans that have yet to be shelled. Sometime we'll get around to that. Hope you can still hear me okay. Here is the greenery so far. That's the plastic banging away. Look at these tomato plants. I dug this tomato plant out of the garden last fall. It was just a volunteer late in the season. And it's got some nice blooms. It hasn't had much fruit lately. Nice blooms. I want to put it into the ground, but we need to have some temperatures that are more conducive to tomato plants. Here's my very nice celery, beautiful leafy greenery, nice thin stalks. I'm hoping this will become big and give us some good celery this spring. Again, I want to put it into the ground as well. It's got some grass growing in there. That's a dead pepper plant, but you know, we hardly use those peppers. So now here's my herbs. I've been babying these along. I have a little bit of basil here. I apologize for the traffic. And this is all parsley. But you see how leggy some of it is and really kind of weak looking. It doesn't look very strong. Oh, look at that. I just pulled that one right out of the ground. Didn't have much of a root system. So I'm just a little bit nervous about these herbs. This is all thyme here. But some of them, like this one, has kind of just withered away and died. They don't seem very happy. I've tried reducing their moisture, tried keeping them warmer. This is dill in the back, and I did not have many of those germinate. And they also look very leggy and tired. This is sage here, and now I'm not sure what this little thing is. I'm hoping it is stevia. It was my only thing to germinate in my stevia cells. So there's the herbs. I'm trying to keep them warm till I can get them into the soil. I think what they really want is lots of hot sun. Last year my herb starts did so well, and this year not as well. Here's some more tomatoes, and I need to get those off that shelf. Here's some potatoes that Adam is trying to get eyes on. You see we've got some eyes there and here. This is our Meyer lemon tree. My mother gave me this beautiful fern. I've had it for years, and oh my goodness, it's just as dry and dead this year. I did kill it off. Oh, I don't know if you can see, there's Adam coming back. He went to a lunch in town, and he's back. And here, that's our lime tree. Now these have done really well inside, the lemon and the lime tree. They were new in the fall. Bobo is barking for Adam, saying hello, he's home. So let's go outside. Oh, there's my pumpkin. Can you believe this pumpkin is from last fall? If you don't let them freeze, they don't rot. It's the freezing. You would think that pumpkins out with the frost that sounds so lovely, but it's not. That's what makes them go mushy. So I've had this on this porch, and it miraculously has not frozen, and it still is as nice and firm as it was at Halloween. Isn't that amazing? All right, here's a fun little thing I gave Adam for Christmas. It says Pine Tree Farm. I think you can see that. Okay, let's go outside. It's a little bit of a rainy day. We have yet to mow, and especially this area up front. I've told Adam this area is full of plantain and yarrow and dandelions, and that's what I use to make my healing herb ointment, and I really don't want it to be cut anytime soon. So you see how weedy it is. This is one little bed on this side that has mostly spent daffodils. Now here, let's look at some of this yarrow. This is yarrow. This is wild yarrow. I didn't plant any of this, and it just spreads in the grass. This doesn't even look like grass, does it? It looks like weeds, and that's exactly what it is. But some weeds are so beneficial. So I've got lots of yarrow in this bed. There's again some more daffodils and our little red robin. That's actually a cardinal, of course, but little red bird. I wanted to show you what plantain looks like, and I don't have quite as much of it up, but here's one. This is plantain. Now that's a narrow leaf plantain. There is a broadleaf plantain that looks a little bit different, but is also just as beneficial. And you see we also have plenty of dandelions here. Okay, so let me show you our herb situation. This is the herb bed that Adam built for me. It's on the siding is a roofing material from that little house over there. Has a red roof, a metal roof, and he took the scraps and made it into my herb bed. We'll start down here. Haven't put anything in that pot yet because I don't know what I want to go in there. This is my wonderful thyme portion of my bed, and I'm so excited to finally have thyme that overwinters and is healthy. I never have to plant it again. It's very well established in there. That whole section, it kind of looks gray, but every little piece has nice greenery on it, and it will all come back beautifully. I do try to keep the big weeds pulled out as much as I can. I see a big dandelion in there I need to get after, and you'll notice all through this bed, whoop, I'm zooming the wrong way, all through this bed there's mint. The mint does tend to take over, and you have to keep after it. I like having mint, but I don't want to have only mint. Now this dead-looking object, this is my tarragon plant. It's a big bush. It will get way up here. It's probably 2 to 3 feet high. And it is starting to come back down at the base. You can see the greenery there? That's the tarragon coming back. And oh, that's not focusing. I'm very excited. That has a kind of an anise or fennel taste, a licorice taste. Adam loves that taste. A little bit of that goes a long way for me. I am not a fan of it. Now you can see this wonderful clump of oregano. I've had this, well, it was originally an oregano plant. Had it for years. I probably have had it for 10 or 15 years. It was in a pot that I moved around year after year when we moved so much. I had it at my mother's house over winter, and finally when we moved here I put it in the ground, and it has taken over this bed. It's here, and I think the tarragon is keeping it at bay, but it goes all the way to this corner. Often it goes over into this portion, and that is cilantro. That's the cilantro bed. The big clump over there you see, that's lemon balm, and it has gotten into the lemon balm and encroached into this empty part of the bed over here. So the oregano is quite lively. And there's also mint in there. And all the little weedy things sticking up, that's all green onions, and we leave those because we also like to snip that for our dinners. I've got some broken china here. If I have a plate or a bowl that breaks, that's one of my favorites, and I can't bear to just throw it in the trash, I started bringing them out there and putting them in my herb bed. Oh, and I wanted to show you this funny thing. This is a structure I made with willow, and there's actually some oak in there too that I didn't know about, and some wreaths I had made. It was not very cooperative, but I did get it to stand up. And I wanted some structure in my bed, in my herb bed, and I'll probably put something in that pot underneath and let it grow up, that little structure. Here's our cilantro. The cilantro has been alive all winter long. It reseeds on its own. We've got lots of new cilantro coming. Oh, see my shadow. Lots of new cilantro right in here. All this greenery is cilantro. And then some of it, of course, is taller, and we've been cutting it for our meals. I've also got a raised bed over here. It's a tire that Adam did. We had a beautiful rosemary plant in there, and it did not survive well. It has only one little branch of green, and the rest of it died off. I'm hoping it recovers. I don't know what its chances are. I really think that this whole area here is too wet for our rosemary. This is the house lot here. There's the house. This is the only part of the property that's in a floodplain. And this is a very low section, but it's also our sunniest area on the farm. And also close to the house. I don't want an herb bed that's so far away I'm not going to use it. I want it to be close to the house, so I'll go snip for salads and stuff. So we put it here, and most of the herbs have done fine, but rosemary is kind of a Mediterranean plant, I think. That's how I think of it anyway, and so I think it likes hot sun and stony, dry environment and regular rains, and I think it's just too wet. My lavender also has died. I don't think I'll ever have lavender that survives. Now this is my lemon balm, and look how big and bushy that is. And it spread over here. There's kind of a mound of it here, but it died off in a frost, but it's coming right back. And it's a beautiful, sturdy little plant. Makes a lovely tea. You can also put it in your salads. There, that's a little bit better zoomed in. I'm not very good at this camera, folks. This is a real camera. It's not my phone. Now this part of the bed, all the way from here to the end, is empty right now. A lot of things have died in this part of the bed, and I don't know why, so I'm hesitant to put things in. I had basil here last year, and I think I will do a lot of basil again. We tend to use the basil as our salad base instead of lettuce because it grows so much better than lettuces do. Now this crazy looking thing looks like a bird cage. This was another rosemary plant. I'll zoom in so you can see how it died. It died. It's all the way dead. And I had these little sticks. This was willow that I cut last fall, and I was going to make a basket, and then I realized it wasn't bending correctly and I needed to soak it, but I needed to let it sit, and then I forgot about it. Well, they all dried out over the winter, and they're just as brittle as can be, so instead of trying to make anything with it, I just stuck it around the edge of this tire, and now it kind of looks like a bird cage. But it only took me about 10 minutes to do, and if it gets too dry, I'll just take it on out. If I want to put something else in there, I'll take it out. Oh, look who's here. Here's Adam, walking Trixie and Bobo. Hi. They're going to go for a walk and see the other dogs. Okay, so let's keep on going. This is my daffodil bed. I moved a lot of daffodil bulbs here, and in the middle there, bless its little heart, is my, I can't see it, there it is, yeah. My eucalyptus tree that dies off each year, and we hope it comes back this year, but our temperatures were very cold. It got down to 8 degrees. Adam did have a tent over it to protect it, but I just don't know if it'll survive. I see some more lovely plantain. See, this is a bed that has both plantain and yarrow in it. There's the plantain. See those long striations in the leaf? And see the ferny, yeah, there's a lot of yarrow in there. This is really great for the products I make. So daffodils are starting to be spent. There's a few that are still pretty. This is we really want this to be one long bed that will stretch. See, there's a little gap between the herb bed, then the daffodil bed. The bulb bed will go on up. And we've just Adam just put this pine straw in here. He got it out of the chicken coop. There's a pine tree over our chickens in the back. And there's lots and lots of bulbs under there, and I'm going to add them to them. The previous owners of this farm, I don't know why they did this, but they put daffodil, all kinds of bulbs, all over the place just in the grass. And so they randomly come up in the spring, and every year I go around and try to dig them up and I want to put them in one place. So this is going to be my bulb bed here in the middle. Bulbs are pretty easy to move. It's not too bad. So if I decide to change my mind, but I think we'll stick with that. We've also got some of Adam's lovely cement leaves. These are some that he figured he didn't want to sell. He didn't like the shape of them, but I think they're fine. So these are just a few we've thrown down. We're going to dig them into, obviously, into the path better so we don't trip over them. This is one that came from a mold he made. If you want to see some more, here's some more. He just laid them out here, kind of evaluating what he want to do. And these are kind of the rejects of the group that I imagine will end up in our yard somewhere. This bed on the side, these are two sedum plants that I had on the other side of the house, and I think they had too much shade and they never got very tall. I transplanted them here, and I think I accidentally brought over some vinca. If you see the vinca down there, which I love vinca. I'm kind of hoping it makes itself at home in this bed. So there's two little sedum plants, and those should get really, really tall. They're very small right now. I hope that they're the kind that get tall and bloom. These are two lemongrass plants that we just stuck there. And of course they shouldn't come back. We're going to need to dig them out. That little pathetic thing is a lantana. There's a lantana in there. I should do another tour later when everything's blooming. This is a hydrangea right there. It did not bloom last year, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's getting too much shade. And Flower Lady down in Florida, this is for you. This is a rose bush. I don't think it's ever bloomed. It's very prickly. It's very climby and viney. Adam hates it because it gets him on the head when he mows the grass. I try to keep it cut back, but I love it all drapey like this. I don't really like things to be trimmed and tight. And there's even a little, can't stand to take it out because there's a really sweet little bird's nest in there. And it's growing on an old fan trellis that we brought from somewhere else on the farm. Here's another hydrangea. And down here, now this is interesting for those of you from elsewhere. See this ugly, ugly stuff here? This is leftover. Actually, you can see the bulb. That's an elephant ear. And it goes back to the ground every year, and then it'll come back, and it will be huge with big ears. And we have a good many elephant ears. How much? Oh, I'm almost out of time. Let me show you. Over here is my new bed. This is going to be a tea herb bed, or just another herb bed, and I'm going to put my new herbs in here once they're big enough. I do have a little bit of marjoram. This is my only plant in here so far, and they seem to be doing well. So they're bright lime green. And I thought I would mention that some things in this bed are also beneficial and edible. We just don't always know what they are. Like this plant here, which you've probably seen and you just think it's a weed. It's often kind of red and fans out in the middle like that. That's called purslane. Purslane is edible. You could pick it and put it on your salads. It's a little bit bitter, but it won't hurt you at all. It's very healthy for you, very healthy. Of course, dandelions are very good too. See, I've got a couple of bulbs just randomly growing in the middle of that bed. I'm not certain, I think this is Creeping Charlie. We have so much of that on our farm. I think it's also edible. So lots and lots of lovely plants. This bed will be full of herbs this year. I really like to shoot for perennial. I like perennials in general. I don't like to have to replant every year. Basil is an exception I make for that. You can see all the, I don't know if you can see on the camera, all the dandelions on our farm. That's the back pasture. Almost out of time. This is another rose, Flower Lady, for you. This is a Lady Banks rose that I planted on this trellis, or a kind of little arbor thing. And oh, it is just about to burst. You can look and see all the little blooms that are just almost here. I'm very excited. I love a lady. Oh, this one's already blooming. Look at that. Look at that. It's so beautiful. And the one that I had in Statesville was massive. It was as tall as the house and so full you couldn't see through it. It was just beautiful. And so when we moved here, I put this one in, and I don't know how long it'll take, but I do want another Lady Banks rose. We have a gardenia here that had a rough winter. You see it has lots of dead leaves, but it'll come back. It's very well established. Oh, I think I am almost out of time. And this is a daylily, tiger lily bed right here that we've had in for a couple years. So that's my yard. That's this side of the yard. We'll do another tour another time. I hope you can hear me okay with this microphone. Have a blessed and wonderful day.